Welcome to Section 5, Analyzing Data from MongoDB with PySpark. So this is the second of our worked examples of a data science pipeline using MongoDB and PySpark, the tools that we have covered so far in the course. In this section, we're going to look at importing JSON data directly into a MongoDB database. In this case, the JSON data comes from the Reddit platform, which I'm going to discuss shortly. Then we'll look at how we can extract that data from MongoDB using the PySpark connector. We'll do some exploratory data analysis using Spark, and we're going to build up to building a predictive model to try and predict which comments on Reddit are popular using PySpark.ml, the machine learning library in Spark. Video 5.1, Making Reddit Data Available to PySpark. In this video, we're going to look at grabbing the Reddit data that we want to analyze from the dumps that are available online. We'll also look at bulk importing using mongoimport. Before we get into that, I want to just talk a little bit about Reddit as a platform and why we are doing this worked example. So the point of this course is to both teach you the fundamentals of MongoDB and Spark, and then also be able to use those in your workflows very quickly. So with the last example about weather data and this worked example on the Reddit data, in both cases, what I want is that you have some working notebooks that you can use to either copy from to put into your own kind of workflows and using in your day-to-day job or in your research or whatever it is that you do. But also, in the case of this Reddit example, it's the beginning of an interesting project. And I think if you follow through the notebook, you'll be able to find other directions to go with the kind of analysis that you're doing, that we get up to. So, just to let you know, this is very practical and it's necessarily only a beginning of something. So it is only a relatively short introduction, but it gives you lots of potential to go somewhere. In case you don't use Reddit, Reddit is one of the most popular, most visited sites on the internet. It's been running for quite a few years now, and it is basically functions as a set of forums. So you have forums called subreddits about particular topics. You could find a very good one about machine learning, another good one about data visualization, and so on. So for very niche interests, and people make posts, often sharing links. And those posts can get voted up and down, and people discuss them, they have comments and so on. And if you go to the website, it looks a lot like this. So it might be worth having a quick look just to familiarize yourself with the site. Another really nice thing about Reddit is it has a very open API. It's easy to go and grab that data. The API is very straightforward. You can look at the URL for any given comment or post or what have you. And if you just replace .html with .json, you get all of that data, all of that nicely structured data of the kind we've been discussing available to you very simply. Now, lots of people have done us a favor and gone ahead and grabbed huge tranches of data from Reddit, going back to 2005, in fact. So you can very easily find these reproduced in lots of different places. You can grab the data through a torrent, or you can go to this GitHub, this GitHub repository, and that will give you links to year-by-year breakdown of the data. In our case, we're going to grab data from January 2010 from GitHub, and we're going to work with just that 1 month. And that's just to keep things manageable while we're doing this exercise. But of course, you now have the tools from MongoDB and Spark to very easily scale this up. So if you wanted to go ahead and look at other years and look at that data, then you're in a good position to do so. The other point that I'll make here is, this is also a really good example of a data set that makes sense to consider as JSON format. It is unstructured. The platform has changed from year to year. So if you look at the data from, say, 2005, you look at the data the kind of metadata that comes with the comments and the posts, it will be quite different from more recent data. And of course, if you were using a fixed schema, you would have some problems dealing with all of that. You would maybe need to have different tables for kind of different formats or different versions of the API. For us, we can just take that JSON data and put it straight into MongoDB. And that's the first task that we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and grab that file for January 2010, and we're going to import it directly into MongoDB. So there's a set of tools called mongoimport and mongoexport, and they're very handy convenience functions. If you have a big JSON file that you just want to put into MongoDB, you can use mongoimport, and that saves you doing something like reading the file in Python and then writing it into MongoDB. And the syntax is pretty straightforward. mongoimport --db is the name of the database, --, collection is the name of the collection, --, file is the path to the file. And the file that we're using is rc for Reddit comments, 2010-01 for January 2010. And this is a reasonably big data set. There's 2.8 million documents in there. And as I said before, I definitely encourage you to go and look at data from other months and other years to kind of extend this analysis. So if you're following along, which I would encourage you to, go ahead and run that mongoimport command, and you should be able to, if everything's gone to plan, you should be able to take a quick look and check that that collection does indeed exist on the Mongo terminal, and you can do a quick count and check the number of documents that are included.